Hello everyone and welcome to another update vlog here in the Seri Pixel Biology community. And this week's kind of an odd week because I need to tell you guys why there haven't been as many videos over the last week as usual. We're an extremely active community, as many of you guys know, so we usually have anywhere from 3 to 6, sometimes more, videos a day. And that's a lot. Most people usually only do like 1, maybe 2 videos a day, and we just kind of like hit it out of the ballpark with so many videos every single day. I'm going to tell you guys the secret behind why we do that somewhere in this video. And for those of you guys who are not interested in learning about some more personal details of myself, I'll just put this up front. There haven't been as many videos because I've been sick, and I've not abandoned any of our series. I've had so many messages, hundreds of messages going, Seri, where is this? Seri, where is that? Don't you care about the wolves anymore? Seri, I can't live without warriors. What's happening? Where's zoo crafting? A lot of unrest, a lot of like, what's going on? And so I decided, even though it's a little hard for me, I will tell you guys what's going on, and I will tell you guys why there haven't been as many videos in a very upfront, personal manner. For those of you guys not interested in that, I've just been sick, and that's all you guys need to know. You don't have to know any of the other details if you don't want to, just I've been sick. And for those of you who want to know a little bit more behind why we do our channel the way we do, what's going on, how Seri is doing, what I mean by like more personal things, then stick around and I'll tell you a little story. I'm trying to think of anything else not related to that, because maybe I'm putting it off a little bit, that you guys might need to know. And just, I love Stardew Valley. There's that. We haven't given up on any of our series because I know a lot of you guys are like, Star Stable's dead forever, Wolf Quest, Zoo Tycoon 2Y. And no, I haven't given up on those, so don't worry, you guys. And there's more amazing adventures coming up. But other than that, yeah, the only news I really need to tell you guys about is that I have been very sick the last week. And being very sick is kind of something that happens to me, something that I do. And so here's where we're going to transition into a little bit of the more personal side of things, because I don't know when I might be very sick again. I don't know how sick I could be. I don't know if I'm going to get better from being sick. And that's because autoimmune issues run in my family. My mom has lupus, and for as long as I can remember, she's been more or less bedbound, and she will be probably for the rest of her life, just bedbound. And when she's not bedbound, she's in her wheelchair, and it really has taken a lot of her quality of life from her. And one of the tricky things about lupus is that it attacks your own body. It's a disease, an autoimmune disease, that makes it so that when you get sick, your body just takes that, and instead of producing the antibodies to try to make yourself better, it decides that everything, the antibodies, everything in you is a disease and it needs attacked. It'll start attacking your joints. And my mom, her case in particular, it attacks the synovial fluid in her joints, and it takes away the buffer that we have. When you bend your fingers right now, and what's happening, and here's the nursing training, I was in nursing for quite a long time in university. What's happening when you do that is there's some fluid in your joints that helps to kind of keep your bones from scraping against one another, and keeps the muscles around those bones from like rubbing against the bone, rubbing against each other. It makes it so you can move fluidly, easily, synovial fluid, and it makes it very comfortable. Well, she doesn't really have a lot of that. So imagine if you could feel the scraping, and if you could feel the muscles being up against the bone every time you move, and that hurts a lot. So for her, that's how it manifests. And for some of her friends, I remember when she finally had a name to the disease that bugged her, that made it so that she basically, for my entire childhood, was in bed, and in bed because she was in so much pain. She couldn't get out of bed. And I remember back then she found a support group with other moms, and that was really hard to be a mom with lupus. Like, how do you run after a toddler when you hurt so much you can't really get out of bed? And I remember when she first got into the support group, there was a woman who the lupus manifested and just kind of did bad things to her brain, and she died. And another woman where her lungs got really bad and she died. And so you don't really know. It's kind of like a grab bag. Nobody wants how it's going to turn out. And thankfully, there's a lot more research going into it now. And I've been able to shift my diet, like being gluten-free. Not only am I kind of sensitive to gluten, but also keeping away from that. There's a lot of correlation with autoimmune diseases like lupus or other things. And eating gluten, and it can cause issues. It's not just a fad for some people. It's a very real thing that has significantly helped my life. So yeah, my life. How does that correlate to talking about my mom and how she's been in bed most of my life? with her diseases, well, it's also genetic, and you don't really know how to get it, or if you've got it, or what goes on until the symptoms start showing up. And you want to stay positive, and you want to think, oh, that's not going to be me, but I do get sick a lot. I get sick a lot, you guys. So that's just kind of what I'm trying to explain, is that I get sick a lot, and it's sick more often than most people should be sick. And I have fevers all the time, and I just generally know that things aren't probably what they should be. And I don't have any official diagnoses just yet, because this is kind of an ambiguous thing. You just sort of have to chase down and wait until the symptoms get to the point where you're like, yes, we can definitely for sure say that it's not just this random string of like aches and pains and fevers that keep going. And so it's kind of sucks, because it's not like anything you can prepare for. It's not really like anything you can cope with. It's just something where your body starts slowly deciding that it wants to attack itself and rip it apart, and you don't really know where or how it might do that, but thankfully there's more research going into it. So I won't talk about that, kind of like the technical aspects. The bottom line is just that I get sick a lot, and I'm going to maybe be getting sick more often as I get older. I just turned 28, as you guys know. We celebrated my 28th birthday, and this is about the time when my mom started feeling bad. And I am doing a lot of things differently in my life. I eat a healthy vegan diet. I lost 100 pounds. I'm trying to lose more weight and just like stay healthy and active while I can still be active. That's always in the back of my mind, while I can still. It's always in the back of my mind, because I'm not going to try to pretend like this isn't something where I could end up kind of like my mom, bedbound, as time goes on. And I'm not in that point right now. And I'm also probably not going to have kids, because lupus really, really, really is aggravated when you have kids. A lot of the women I know who have lupus, and it's almost always women, at least right now from what the research says. This is still kind of one of those things, like when my brothers were first diagnosed with autism when we were little, it was so new that everyone was still filling it out. But some of the women I know, almost all the women I know who have lupus, it got much worse after they had kids. That's usually what triggered it, and to go as a full-time, all the time, bad thing. Again, everybody's different, but that's one of the reasons, one of the many reasons why that's probably not going to be in the cards for me, even though I was a foster mother, even though I loved being a nanny, even though I'm really great with my nieces and cousins, and I know how to take care of babies. So I know those things, but I'm really scared of not being able to get out of bed. I'm really scared of my adventures. Imagine a Seri who can't go walking in the woods. And you'll know a little bit of why I get so scared sometimes. But yeah, so that's kind of something that could happen, and I get sick a lot. And when I'm sick, and when videos don't go out, that's kind of what's going on behind the scenes, is my body is probably attacking itself, and I have a horrible fever. Something along those lines has probably occurred, and I literally don't have the energy or the ability to sit at my computer and tell stories with you guys. And yeah, so it's not like I'm just trying, and I'm saying this because that happens pretty often when I post on Twitter, I have a fever today, I'm sick today, and I know a lot of people have commented like, Seri, you always seem to be sick. Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, that's a thing. And so I just wanted to kind of level with you guys why that may be. And then people also will try to be really helpful and nice, and they'll be like, you should work less, you should take it easy. And I know that's usually the first response I get. Well, there's a couple factors to that, you guys. Just because you're a sick person who's an adult doesn't mean you don't have to pay your bills. So I still have to pay my bills. I'm still the majority breadwinner right now for my little family unit with chips and my birdos and my geckos, and so I need to make sure the bills are paid. Also, what happens is that I pretty much, now that my parents no longer, like it used to be I worked so hard and put so many videos out every day because my parents are both very sick. My mom has lupus, my dad has a spine condition that just showed up out of the blue. It was really, really awful when that just like, boom, and suddenly he couldn't work anymore. And that was terrible. He's really proud because he's been in 3 medical journals where they're like, we have no idea what's happening here. And they're like, we could do experimental surgery to see if we can fix it, but it might leave you paralyzed for life. And he's like, No. They're like, yeah, 90% chance you won't be able to walk again, but we might be able to find out what's going on. Then you just take the like daily pain versus not being able to walk anymore. And he is my mom's primary caretaker, so that would be a big deal if like both my parents could no longer function and get out of bed. So yeah, it used to be to help them make sure they had enough money to pay rent and enough money to get their medicines so that they are not in daily pain. And in my mom's case, so she can live, I had to like do extra work and send them hundreds of dollars. And that's where it started. That's where so many videos a day started, is because I love my family and I love my parents. And I would give them hundreds of dollars a month to make ends meet because neither of them could work anymore. And for a long time there, the aid from like the government wasn't there because there's a lot of paperwork and bureaucracy involved in that. And my mom, thank goodness, didn't give up and fought for 4 years, presented all of the evidence, presented all of the testimony, and managed to thankfully get the help they need now. So starting this year, it's the very first year that I can ever remember in my adult life when I didn't wake up in a constant sense of mild panic over, are my parents going to lose their house? Do they have enough medicine? Do they have enough food to eat? And so it's kind of shifted things where now they can take care of themselves. And that's amazing to me. That's totally new to me. For as long as I can remember, especially because my mom's always been sick, it's been, I had to take care of them on some level. And I always thought that's what my adult life would be, is taking care of my parents. And now they can take care of themselves to some extent. And that's really, really, really cool. And that's where the genesis of why I put out so many videos a day came from. And now I am kind of addicted to that. And also that I don't know when I'm going to be too sick to do that. So for all the people who are like, Seri, you should rest more, you should just do more. Know this, I have gotten to the point where I have to admit on the days when I'm sick, I do rest. And then why do I keep working so hard? That's the next question. Why do I keep working so hard if I'm worried about getting sick? This isn't a kind of sick where resting is going to make things better. This isn't a kind of sick where if you just take things easier and you don't put out so many videos a day, you don't do these creative projects that invigorate your life so often, this isn't something where I can really prepare in any way other than just to try to put my body in as healthy a place as possible and try to live a life of joy so that I can build up a reserve of good memories and happiness and inner strength that you need when you're looking at the potential of having a lot of things taken away from you by your own body. And again, that may never happen. Maybe I like go to 80 and I'm fine and healthy and climbing Mount Everest, and maybe not. And I get sick a lot. And that's kind of where you have to like assume the best, but also admit like, yeah, you get sick a lot and you've been getting sicker lately, and there's nothing wrong with your diet. There's nothing wrong with your lifestyle. There just might be something wrong with your genetics. So for the people who wonder why I still work so hard, even in that case, it's because I don't know when it all is going to end. I don't know when the amount of energy I have is going to be permanently taken away from me. And there's nothing you can really do. No amount of resting right now, when I some days have that amount of energy, is going to gather that energy I didn't use up and give it to me when I'm sick in the future. That's not how it works. Whatever energy I have right now is what energy I have right now. And I want to use it to make my heart happy. And that's why I create so much now. I no longer have to create so much to take care of my parents, but I create so much right now for a few reasons, but partially because I am happy when I do. I am happy to tell so many stories and adventures, because my biggest fear is mostly that one day I'll get to the point where I won't be able to tell as many adventures and stories anymore. And I can't imagine something, it's just really sad to me to think about all the stories, the adventures, the excitement, everything I have to give somebody, and just to imagine not being able to do that anymore because the energy is no longer there, because I literally can't. Like, imagine all of the things, all of the adventures, the 3,200 plus videos that we've done. Imagine if all of that creativity and all of that happiness and all of that joy and excitement had just stayed in my head, and I hadn't been able to share it just because there was a barrier of not having enough energy, not having enough health to do it. And that makes me really sad. And I have to suspect that possibly, there's just the possibility that that could be my future. So that's one of the reasons I love telling as many adventures and stories as I can right now, when I know I have the energy, when I know I have the time, when I know I have the capability of doing it. Because one day I might be looking at not being able to tell you guys adventures and stories anymore, not being able to share the joy in my heart anymore with big groups of people. And when that happens, if that happens, I really hope I can turn around and look at an even bigger archive, maybe 10,000 videos or something like that, and just know that I can be at peace. That's really what it's all about, is being able to be at peace with the future. And I am at peace with the idea that maybe my health won't be what I wish it could be. Maybe it won't ever be. Maybe I won't ever lose that last 50 pounds I want, or something like that. Maybe I will get to the point where just getting up from my bed and sitting out on the deck is all the energy I have and all that my body will let me do. And right now I'm not there. Right now I can still go on big adventures. And because those things are possibilities, very real possibilities in my life, and because I see my mom, and she's at the age right now where it's probably, for your parents, you always hope the best, you know? If I could do anything, honestly, if I could just give my energy and my health to my mother and take her place, I would in a heartbeat. Because I want her to be able to go on adventures. I want her to be able to do all the things I always dreamed she could do, or I'd make enough money to let her do, like go back to Hawaii and run along the beach or swim in the waves. And she's probably honestly not going to be able to do those things anymore. Ever. You only get one life, and she doesn't get to do those things. And that's why I want to. I'm getting a little frazzled because there's so much going on, and it's just really hard to explain to you guys, because I feel like I have a bit of a responsibility of being like, no, I'm not sick yet. I could be. Here's what it's like when you have to look at your future as a young adult, and I'm 28, just turned 28, and I have to go, what happens if 5 years from now, that's all the energy I have? What happens if 5 years from now, or when I'm 35, which is 7 years from now, what happens if my life at 35 is what my mom's life was like at 35? And there's a lot of things I need to make sure I get done before then, if that's where my health is going to be at. If that's about the age for her when being in bed every day was like the reality. And there's a lot I want to get done. There's a lot I want to get done. There's a lot I want to do. And that's why I do as many videos as I do now, because I want to be at peace with that future, with the idea. I don't want to be panicked. I don't want to be moving forward one day at a time, fearful of where I could be. I want to be at peace with that. If that's my future, I want to be at peace with it. Right now, maybe it never will be. Maybe eating a healthy vegan diet and going on daily walks with ships around the lake and just keeping my heart optimistic and not putting my body through the strain of children or major extreme events is what it needs. Maybe, and that's also why YouTube is amazing for me, because I'm able to go at a healthier pace. And when I had to work for somebody else all the time, it was a lot harder, because if there were days when I could tell I was in a lot more pain, or I could tell I was really sick, I had that fever, I would have to ignore it. In school, I'll never forget in high school, I've had these things start building up even since high school. We had finals week, and I couldn't miss my finals, and I took my finals and aced all of them, by the way. But as soon as I was done with the last one, I got up, turned it in, and went to my teacher, and I was like, I need to go to the nurse now, and I had 103 fever. And I had to go through all my finals. Imagine, take that, where that's your reality of you have to do these things, and you have this fever, and people aren't going to give you a free pass all the time, no matter what it is, no matter if you're sick or not. And so when I used to have conventional jobs working retail, or when I was working as a nanny, and there were days where you just were too sick, that only goes so far for so long. So being able to be with you guys on YouTube and share my stories, and by the way, there's probably going to be more personal stories like this on the vlog channel. I keep the gaming channel pretty lighthearted. But to share my stories with you guys and have that be my job and my reality is the biggest blessing I could ask for, because I truly feel like it's extending my ability to enjoy life before or if I get sick. Because I can go at my own pace and take care of my body. And that's kind of what this is to tell you guys about. That I am going to go at my own pace, take care of myself. You're still going to see these ridiculous bursts of videos and ridiculous amounts of energy, because I want to make sure that those things get to you guys before they can't anymore. Because it's well-meaning when people are like, Seri, do less, take it easy. And it's not so well-meaning when people are like, where's this video? Where's that video? But the reason you see so much coming out, even though I'm sick or I could be sick, or I haven't been feeling well that week, is because it makes me feel at peace with accepting what my future could be like. Because one day I'll have this big archive of things to look back on, adventures I went on to look back on, and I'm making them while I have the energy, because one day I may not. So please don't yell at me like, Seri, why aren't you resting more? I'm going to start just tossing everything to the side and resting, instead of feeling super guilty and conflicted and like, oh my gosh, what if the channel goes under and we can't pay our rent, and what if this happens and what if that happens? I'm going to start being calmer about those things. Our channel has grown to the point where it can sustain me even on the days when I can't do anything, and we have 2,300 videos in the archive, and if 2,300 videos can't help me inch towards paying my rent because I have to spend 3 or 4 days sick in bed, then I need to figure something else out. But for now, it looks like it can. So, but please don't just yell at me if I'm putting out tons of videos and tell me to rest more. I know it's well-meaning, and I know it comes from a good place, but understand that the reason I do that, even when things are what they are because it makes me feel calmer with accepting what my future could be. And because it brings me joy. I love telling these adventures, going on these fantastic stories with you, telling the stories, going on these adventures. I love that. And I won't ramble much longer. This is a very complicated subject, if you guys can't tell, and it's very hard to explain because I don't know the right words to say yet. But that's what the vlog channel is for, to babble about this stuff some more. But now you guys know a little bit more about the seriously personal side of what's going on and where I'm working so hard. And I also wanted to let you guys know that, yeah, on top of just having days where maybe you won't see the videos that were planned to go up, and if you do see videos that go up even on days when I'm sick, they're scheduled, you guys. I record hours and hours of content at a time sometimes, and then you can schedule it to go out on different days. And some people get upset about that, but you guys, it's perfect for me, because then on the days when I have this energy, I can tell these stories, tell these adventures, and then treat myself gently when I'm sick the next day. But guess what? The videos are scheduled to go out. So if you see something come out and it's like, well, why'd you put out Stardew Valley and you haven't done like Warriors today? Then probably Stardew Valley was recorded a few days ago and it just was scheduled to go out that day. And a lot of YouTubers do that, and it's fantastic. It's a wonderful tool. I plan on really, really using that for when Chips and I go to Asia. And that's what I was about to say too. You're going to see me rest a bit more. You're going to see me talk about more of these things on the vlog channel, because I don't really have any visibility. I don't know anybody else who's kind of in my situation, where you're a healthy young adult looking at the potential of not being healthy, and maybe you're not as healthy as you wish you were right now. And how do you look at your future? Like, how do you accept that? How do you come to peace with that? I don't know anybody else who talks about these things. I don't see vlogs about that. I see vlogs about people, like, their shopping hauls or what they ate for the day. I don't see vlogs that confront the issue of health and mortality and life quality and satisfaction. I don't see those things. So I'm going to try to make those things, because maybe they'll help me come up with some of those answers. And if you've seen those things, let me know, because I could use the company, to be honest. The like, yeah, I know what you're going through sort of company. Yeah, so there's that. I will be maybe having days where videos don't go out, but I don't want to, historically I've pushed myself, even if I'm sick, to prop myself up at my computer and record, because I didn't want to disappoint you guys. And this last week, I've been sicker than ever, and it just really drove home how that's got to change. I've got to start putting my body first, because I needed to go longer. I need to keep my health longer than this. And also Chips and I are probably going to start traveling a little bit more. and going on adventures. And I'll take you guys along with us. If we run into animals, plants, if I can interview people, then I will be recording that content. I'm thinking about investing in some better cameras and mics even, so that I literally can actually go and interview people at zoos or at like nature sanctuaries, anywhere, and really get that content for you guys like I've always wanted, because I need to stop thinking in terms of like I've always wanted and thinking in terms of I'm gonna make that serious investment now. Well, because I have the energy budget, the health and energy budget that's in the back of my mind all the time. And I need to respect that instead of just putting things off and being like, well, I shouldn't spend that kind of money on like a GoPro or something just because I want to record lemurs. I want to record lemurs for you guys, so I probably will. Because I need to be realistic about the kind of time frame I'm working with. So that's that. And yeah, you will probably see Chips and I go vacation more, and I just want to let people, I don't have to justify that, but I just want to let people know it's not because I'm just like, oh, I can just, you know, swing off on a vacation with Chips. It's not like the people need their videos. It's because I'm possibly, maybe not, but possibly working against a bit of a time frame with my health. And I need to accept that reality and stop pretending like it's something that's not there. And I want to make sure that I can do all of the things I can while my body still can. And so if I go on a bunch of vacations, I know it sounds weird, I just don't want people to be like, ah, Seri's hit the big time and she's just like blowing money on vacations and she's not putting out videos like she used to. It's because that's also something where doing it will help me move forward with no regrets. So that, I mean, I worked at a nursing home for a while, and that really helps kind of frame my thoughts of where do I want to be, because that's where we're all going to be one day. We're all going to eventually get to the point where we're not healthy enough to do the things that we really wish we could have done. And a lot of people get panicked and scared when they think about those things, and I just really feel like if I can go on adventures with my wonderful partner Chips, if I can just spend some time telling as many adventures. If there are days where I just record like 12, 13, 14 episodes a day, and that's okay. Basically, what I'm trying to say is I just don't want to move forward with regrets. And so if you guys see more vacations, if you guys see less videos, if you guys see more videos, if you guys see that I've gotten sick and I can't put anything out, just know it's not me trying to sabotage the beautiful community that we've made. And that I appreciate how you guys have literally changed my life. I wouldn't be able to do this. I wouldn't be able to work at my own pace. I wouldn't be able to think calmly and clearly and without so much fear of like my financial future, because just because you get sick all the time, that doesn't mean that you're going to be able to pay your bills. And so you guys watching and those ads that roll on YouTube are what make it so that I can look at my future without being afraid. And there's not really words to say thank you enough to something like that. So I'm babbling. I've gone on way too long, so I'm going to stop. This is probably the most personal and saddest kind of video you'll ever see on the main channel, but I will start confronting some of these issues. And if you guys have questions about these issues or just about like the deeper, it's not so much about the specifics of how or why you get sick as much as it is about how you get quality of life and how you face the future when you're looking at these things. So if you guys have questions about those things, like, or that deep, like, you can tell sometimes that I date a philosopher. Chips is a philosopher. He has a degree in philosophy, like, as well as history. He was a valedictorian in college. Oh my gosh, he was like, Chips is smart. But if you guys have questions about those kinds of things, or even more lighthearted questions, then feel free to ask me, and I'll probably make some little videos talking about them on the vlog channel. Because like I said, I see vlogs of people shopping and doing funky, like, trick things and ice bucket challenges all the time. But I would love to have more company for talking about these kinds of issues. And if you have questions about how these things relate to the channel, what it means to run a YouTube channel, what it means to work for yourself, and work as an independent artist, basically, is what this is. When you're looking at such an uncertain future, how do you make that more certain? What do I do in the background to try to line my finances up for the reality of, like, how do I not be a burden on Chips if things really ever did get so bad that I couldn't make money? Then feel free to ask me. I'll answer those things. And I'm done for now. So thanks, guys, for listening. I'm not sure if I said anything that was what I really wanted to say. And I hope I can drive home just how much you guys have changed my life and how you make it possible for me to take care of my health and to hopefully get more experiences out of this once-in-a-lifetime chance that my life is. So thank you, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye, guys.